For our Kickstarter Pickstarters for the week of February 19th, 2018, we've got mystery and secrets abound. For our first Kickstarter, Above Top Secret from Mad Inventor Games, you'll be each playing as secret bases and trying to protect your secrets, and as well as increasing your clearance in order to get better technology. You will each have separate parts of your base, and you'll be trying to destroy everyone else's base cards while leaving at least one sector of your base alive. And in doing so, as I said, you'll be increasing your clearance, but doing so would give up defenses, so it's a balance of how much power you want, as well as keeping yourself hidden.
Now, when you say base, what does that mean exactly?
I mean, like Area 51 kind of. You'll have like your lab, your airport, your
secret.
I think they call it Area 9 or Section 9 in the cards.
Okay, yeah. They didn't get through the other 40 yet. It's a prequel.
Yeah. As well as, of course, aliens may visit and cause different events, so good or bad, depending on what happens.
I'm into that.
I thought it looked like a fun little theme. I feel like Area 51, and also I love the idea of like increasing your clearance to get this crazy technology and stuff. The base game will only cost you about $29 USD, which is pretty nice, so definitely something worth checking out.
The Reckoners from Nauvoo Games. This is one that's actually based on a book series by Brandon Sanderson, which is kind of a tongue twister, Brandon Sanderson. And in this game, super people have entered the world, but they're all evil. And they all have evil powers, and they're trying to destroy the city. And it's up to you as a team, a cooperative team of, I believe, 1 to 6 players, to try to stop them, especially their evil leader, Steelheart. Basically, it's a dice rolling game. Everybody's going to simultaneously roll a bunch of dice, and depending on what results you get, you'll have some rerolls available to you. You can use those dice for actions. So primarily, you're going to be attacking people. You're going to be doing some research. You can gain new equipment along the way. And the big thing is you have to research Steelheart's weakness, which just means you have to get a certain track to a low enough point before you can actually start hurting him, because he's really strong, and you need to know.
So are you all like Batman, no powers? And
you are all regular people,
okay,
and you are fighting off people with superpowers. So you have to work together to deal with their different kind of crazy things that they can do to you. So yeah, it's sort of a regular people. It's if X-Men were just evil and are coming after you. Never read or heard of any of these books.
This is the Batman versus Justice League.
Yeah, exactly. Only you're not even. It's more like Alfred versus Justice League.
Right. You don't get the nice. The anti-Justice League battle suit, whatever it's called.
You don't have kryptonite. Well, you'll figure out what the kryptonite is, actually. But yeah,
it's actually the element kryptonite.
The books looked interesting. The art looks interesting. Apparently, people like it. You can check it out. The core set on Kickstarter goes for $69.
Master of Respect is a game from Japan that is being brought over by Hobby Japan Games. In this game, you actually will each run a dojo, and your goal is not to get money, but to gain respect. By doing so, you're going to get you need more students and show how you've trained them really well. So what's going to happen is you're going to get students to your dojo, and at first they're not going to be very respectful because they're newbies. They don't know anything. But by you training them, you're going to be able to flip them over, and then they will be respectful because they'll be awesome. And they actually have the artwork of a lot of different students, which will flip over and show them like looking a lot better. In addition, each dojo is actually a little different, so a bit asymmetrical. So it's not all just different artwork. And you also have respect tokens. So if your opponent does an action to help them out, whether getting money or sake or whatever, you can actually give them a respect token, because you respect that move, to copy the action. However, that gives victory points at the end, so you can't just keep dealing them out to get a lot of actions.
I can dig that. I like it. It's a cool theme, and yeah, I like the trade-off of getting a little something, giving a little something, deciding when that's worth it or not. It's pretty cool. And
the artwork I love the artwork of all the cards in the dojos. And if you look at some of the masters, and I think some Kickstarter stretch goals will include new ones, so you can have more different players out on the field.
You know who would love this game is Rodney Dangerfield, because it's the only way he could ever get any respect.
Joking aside, this game will go for $28, not including shipping, so do keep that in mind depending on where you live.
Leviathan is a game from designers Jeffrey and Valerie Greer. It's a micro game for just 2 players that is based on Moby Dick. So one player is going to be the Captain Ahab side, the other side is going to be the side of the whales. And it's a card game that sort of plays out like a miniatures game with a little bit of a battleship aspect in there. The whale player has multiple whale cards, but some of them are just tricks of the light, and they're face down, so the other player is not going to know which ones are actually whales until they cross through them. So in that aspect, there's a bit of a stealth thing going on. And the whales are trying to attack the ships of the Captain Ahab side, who has the ability to recruit more crew, etc., to do their attacking. And there is an option to get a mat with the game, but otherwise it kind of works like a miniatures game where whatever your table space is your play field, and you're going to be using a card for movement that measures how far you can move your guys around the board. So it seems like a cool theme. Moby Dick is neat, along with this kind of stealth thing, this hidden movement that is really interesting. It just seemed like a fun, simple game. It only goes for $11, and I don't know. I want to play it.
Definitely looks like something to take a look at, though. I couldn't help but when you said it's like Battleship was just going, "You sunk my humpback whale."
I mean, yeah, that's what it is. I mean, that's a pro. I think they should put that in the video.
So this one's a little different from most of the crime games we play. Crime Writers is a game where there'll actually be cards with like the who, the what, the where. And each player will be given a certain number of cards they choose, and then they'll actually have 10 minutes to write a mystery involving those aspects into their story. Then, reading the title, the other players will try to guess what were the aspects involved in the story, trying to solve the crime. You'll get points depending on what you're able to discover about each other's stories. But I thought this was interesting because one of the games I've enjoyed a lot was a drawing game where you draw out, depending on what card you have to draw little comics. Mangaka, that was the name of it. I totally blanked. But this seems like one more for the writer aspect, which I thought was sort of an interesting twist. And I know it won't be for everyone, but I think if you are the kind of person who like, excuse me, writing short stories, I think Jonathan Poisoned Me is one of the cards. But I think that might be something worth taking a look at.
Yeah, the thing that I thought when I looked at it was, it's basically the game Dark Stories, only the mysteries are ones you wrote yourself, and then the people ask you yes or no questions, which is a very interesting take. My only fear or concern is, you know, how easy will it be to write an interesting story? Like, will you really need players who are really good writers, or can you kind of like make something cool and, you know, not necessarily be Raymond Chandler?
No, I mean, it definitely depends on the players you're with, because it's not even just can you.
Do you want to?
Yeah, because you know, I mean, even the drawing game, I know sometimes people will be like, I made a stick figure, and you're like, you could do more, and you're like, no.
It does kind of maybe give me flashbacks to like taking the SATs, doing the little essay section. Here's your prompt. Oh God. But definitely an original, interesting take on things. I've never seen a game where you actually have to write before in there. So that one goes for $24.
Yeah.
On Kickstarter
So
now.
if writing is up your alley, this is definitely something to take a gander at.
Take a gander at all these Kickstarters and more in our description below. That has been our Kickstarter Pickstarter for the week of February 19th, 2018. This is Roll for Crit. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave your comments down below.
Before it's too late!